haven't spoken negatively at all about the dancers. I've reminded people several times that everyone in the situation are victims.
Hi, beautiful people. Hope everybody is doing well. Happy Friday. You guys, it's April 1st. These months are just flying by. I have got so much to say. Let's just jump straight into this. Please do not take what I say as fact. Feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. So for the past 3 weeks or so, I have actually been trying to educate myself on everything cults. I've listened to podcasts, I've watched YouTube videos, and let me tell you, this is a lot to digest. People have been doing this for decades. It's not just something that you can grasp in a matter of a month. It takes years to understand this, to know this. There are so many different cults. Not every cult is the same. There are similarities, but there's just so much. So for KJ, she actually said it herself.
So you have cult experts speaking out about the situation, saying that it looks a lot like what a cult is. You know, no one's going to say flat out, this is a cult.
From the time KJ has been covering the story, and in her wording, she says, when this story fell into her lap, she had no qualms about calling this organization a cult, how these victims have been trafficked, they're not being paid, they are cut off from their families, and allegations go on and on and on. So she did an Instagram live yesterday, which I can make 10 or so videos on this Instagram live. But I am past the point of frustrated, because at the end of the day, there is so much stigma attached to black men being deadbeat dads. And hear me out when I say this. KJ is reporting on allegations. She has shown no proof to validate what she's talking about, in my opinion. Now, I am speaking specifically about 2 black men in this organization, okay? I'm talking about James and I'm talking about Eyez, who she claims have abandoned their children, do not see their children, and on and on and on it goes. So these clips that I'm going to show you, KJ goes into how she has been acquainted with James Bdash's ex-wife, and how she has influenced Angela, Bdash's ex-wife, to actually come forward and speak out.
We had Angela go out today and speak her mind. To be completely frank, like, Angela doesn't have any ulterior motives. She is just a woman that has a child that she loves and adores, and she's dealing with the sadness that he's dealing with because his father is in another cult and has again abandoned him, and watching his father chase fame and money while his entire, like, he has a Tesla that he's driving, but he can't be bothered to go to his son's basketball games or any of his events that he's participating in. They have like no relationship. So earlier today, I put out some information about James. His ex-wife, Angela, shared her feelings about how he has abandoned his son, Jaden, and how he basically gave up on his son. And he has a car now and he has money, but yet he's still not making an effort to see his son. When Jaden turned 10 years old, which was on the same day that James and Miranda posted their engagement video, James did not publicly say happy birthday to his 10-year-old son. He didn't really even call him that day. His son found out online that his dad was engaged, and found out online that his dad didn't care that it was his 10th birthday. So Jaden has been struggling, and I've been speaking for about a month with Angela, and she kind of publicly said something today. So I shared that so you can see that it's not just about Miranda. So yeah, James is paying child support, but probably not what he should be paying. That's a whole nother issue. There's a lot of issues with that situation right now that I don't want to go into, but he is paying child support, but he should be paying more because technically he's making a lot more money than what that child support was based on. So Robert, by taking money out of that from James, is actually taking money from a child and the child support of that child. If you have James who has social media and it's a verified account and they're deleting it on Facebook, they deleted a verified Facebook account page of his.
And then Miss Know-It-All, now she's a talent manager. She knows everything about talent and being a manager and stuff like that. And she goes off on how Bdash and Miranda's Facebook pages have been deleted.
Who deletes a verified page of something on Facebook? That's what's on Facebook when you try to go to his verified page. Come on, Facebook is a monetizable page. It's a monetizable source. Why would you cut off a revenue source of someone? They also deleted Miranda's Facebook. Why are you deleting people that you claim that you care about, and you care about their business and their success, and you're bragging about all the followers they have, yet you're deleting their pages? That makes no sense. It also makes no sense for an influencer to stay in a situation where their managers are being like this.
Now let's go back to what she was talking about on how Angela, Bdash's ex-wife, has come forward, and she states, I remember this post. That's when the little boy started getting emotional at the age of 3 because his dad wasn't around. It's true that it's hard to start over and function independently after leaving a cult. But when you have a child, you do what's best for them. I was a single mom making sure I took care of our son fully alone for most of his life. It was so hard to do while having to undo all of the brainwashing we went through, but I still did it. So no excuse is good enough for me when it comes to being there for your child. Years later, and it's sad to say that now that James has made it in his career, he still isn't a big part of the little boy's life. He has a car now, he has money for gas and to make it to the little boy's sports or school events. I've never kept the little boy from him, ever, and still. They see each other a couple of times a year. Hopefully, they all wake up and realize what's really important. Money and fame don't last forever, and when it's gone, you'll have so much missed time with family that you can't get back. I truly hope this poor excuse of a pastor decides to end this management company and church, or at the very least starts to actually go by the Bible and encourage these dancers to reconnect with their family and live their own lives the way they want. Off the back, where in Angela's statement does it say, or does Angela say, that Bdash abandoned his son? She does not say he abandoned his son. And secondly, Angela does not call this, where Bdash is right now, a cult. She states she truly hopes this poor excuse for a pastor decides to end this management company and church, or at the very least starts to actually go by the Bible. So why is Katie Joy putting in her own interpretation by saying that Bdash abandoned his son? She says the same thing about Eyez, that Eyez does not see his son, that these two little boys are growing without a dad. That is so misleading. And to me right now, this seems as though what Katie Joy is doing is brainwashing Angela, in my opinion. She's using Angela to give herself credit. Nobody else is willing to come forward. Unfortunately, Angela has fell into her web, in my opinion. Now, what Angela was talking about was this post that Katie Joy got off of Bdash's Facebook page. That is why, in my opinion, they privated or deleted their Facebooks. And this is what she took off of his Facebook. And this was done in 2014, where Bdash says, I'm about to be so real. I'm not a good father to my son right now. My old friends don't like me. I'm just now starting my career because for 5 years I was in bondage and now I have to learn stuff I should have learned years ago. Now I live in North Hollywood and I'm an hour away from my son with no car, so it's hard to see him now because my career is just now getting started. But I have to grind it out so I can take care of my son. So if my old friends don't get it, I understand because I'm in a different path from them now and it was time to move on. But I know out of all this is going to pay off in Jesus' name. First of all, I commend Bdash for actually putting this out in the atmosphere because he realizes he's not being a good dad, but there's a reason why he's not, because he's trying his best to make a better life for his son. That's my interpretation. Now, when it comes to Angela, kudos to her for being that single mom. It's not easy. It is fucking hard to raise kids on your own. But she was given the grace to do that. And unfortunately, she's falling under Katie Joy's spell, in my opinion. And yes, Angela is human. She has that resentment. Katie Joy even stated prior that she has no remorse for Bdash. She is a woman that's hurt. And it's okay to be hurt. But Angela, you've got to realize at the end of the day that your son will look up to you for doing what you did for him. But by downplaying and speaking ill of his dad is not going to do any better. Imagine your son growing older when he's in his teens or when he's an adult and he learns that you were part and parcel of degrading his dad. How do you think that is going to end up? All I got to say to you, Angela, is do your research on who you're investing your trust in. You have come this far with your son. He seems to be such, I don't know, I don't follow you, I don't know him, but kids are not supposed to be part of the story that has been carried out on social media. He deserves his privacy. And another thing, you guys, let me inform you. James and Angela had a conversation yesterday when all this was going down, which Katie Joy failed to mention. What they spoke about is nobody else's business but theirs. So why did Katie Joy fail to mention this? Because clearly, if Angela feels so trusting to KJ that she came out and she told a story, why wouldn't you have told KJ about having a conversation with Bdash, allegedly? So at the end of the day, KJ will do things and she will use people for her own benefit to make her seem credible. This is fucked up on so many levels. Now, as for KJ, that is such a liar. And that's why I say you got to listen carefully because the lies always reveal itself. She came on her Instagram live yesterday stating that she did not load YouTube videos because her son was ill. They were exposed to COVID. First of all, Katie Joy said they were never exposed to COVID before. This is the first time. Katie Joy was on her Instagram live stating how she came down with COVID when it first came out and nobody knew about it. Secondly, Angela, you are putting your trust in a person that joked about selling her son on the black market, that said she's not happy on Mother's Day. When it comes to his birthday, she's sad. She will tell anybody that God gives you only what you can handle. And to those, she says, fuck you. Okay? She is the one that allowed her son to be locked in a room for 10 hours because of one of 3 excuses she made. He was having a meltdown, or she needed time because she was going through something, or the husband was in the room with the dog. And then she sat on a panel with 2 other women and admitted to these women, Angela, that her son was capable of murder because of his disability. It's all out there, Angela. I'm not making up stuff. And to top it off, look at these screenshots. This is how Katie Joy prioritizes her son. that her husband got a texter to help with the son. First one, second one. And then, last but not least, she said her son has been running a fever. That's why she couldn't make YouTube videos. She was taking care of her son. But in this clip I'm going to show you, she says how she was speaking to sources about this.
They were saying today that Robert has a tendency to move from thing to thing to thing.
Now let me be clear with you guys. I'm not a perfect mother. I'm not a perfect person. I don't claim to be a perfect mother or a perfect person. But I can tell you one thing. If my child, any of my kids were running a fever, social media will be out the window. Let alone come on social media dressed to the nines with makeup to regurgitate information that she has spread so many fucking times, and still sat on that live for over an hour and has the audacity to say she gotta go because it's gonna be a long night. KJ, you need to prioritize yourself, boo. You truly do. Because I can tell you for a fact, what you did, I would have never done. I'd have been looking a hot mess, laying right there with my child, because a fever can spike at any time. But you sitting on Instagram running your mouth about allegations, about things you cannot prove, in my opinion. You should have taken that time to go soak in a nice hot bath, regroup if you said it's going to be a long night. But in my opinion, all that is bullshit, because that's who you are. You'll do anything for money, for fame. And you want to put that on Bdash? Okay, Jan. Last but not least, Angela. This is what she does all the time. When people come up against her, she always uses her son. The most adorable little boy. Absolutely smart, a true blessing. She puts this screenshot of a person that's judging her. And in my opinion, the truth. She says, going after my kid. And this person said today was weird because she had to be a mum and take her son to the doctor. Rolls eyes, sarcasm, resentment. Typically, she's on the internet stalking people 12 to 18 hours a day while her special needs son is neglected. Totally agree. The, in quotes, fan account allegedly run by 7M is now using my child as a pawn in their game. I'm not responding to their baseless allegation against me, just posting to show the receipts of what is said about people who report on the situation. I believe Scientology calls this fair gaming. Whatever. This is all she does all day long. Whenever she comes up against somebody, she'll always put her son in the forefront. He does not deserve that. I'm going to end with saying this. KJ, shame on you if you are using Angela to benefit yourself. You, for the fact, as a mother, should know never to allow this to be carried out on social media. But to make yourself look a certain kind of way, you manipulated her, in my opinion, to come forward. Shame on you. You guys, I am done for now. I'm sick and tired of KJ doing this, and especially portraying these two black men as deadbeat dads. Shame on you, KJ. Shame on you. Get both sides of the story, not just one side. Reach out. You want to be a journalist, reporter? Do it the right way. But that also tells us you are neither of those. You guys, I'm done. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Please be safe out there. Be kind to one another, and don't forget, make good memories. Bye, guys.